Uh, I want to just read something. I've talked about the Agasha Temple. You're probably wondering who Agasha is and all this and that. I think I mentioned he's a teacher from the seventh level of consciousness that came manifested through the instrumentality of Richard Zen and the medium, along with many other masters, including Crayo's Jesus. But I want to read something about the Agasha Temple. It no longer exists since Richard Zen passed away himself. As such, uh, there's a small group carried on some of it, but they don't have the recordings that I know of. They've got some from someone who followed Richard, and I'm not too sure about that. So um, anyway, I'm going to play another recording in the next segment of Agasha speaking, about a 10-minute segment from one of the 2-hour lectures. Um, First, I want to read about the Agasha Temple and about reincarnation. So here we go. I'm just going to turn the camera. I've got to check the time. Oh wait, I have a clock here. Check it. 22. Okay. What is the Agasha Temple of Wisdom? The Agasha Temple of Wisdom is an organization that has been in existence since May 27, 1943, when it was formed to develop and give the public the teachings of Agasha. It was formed and founded by the Reverend Richard Zenner. The temple itself and the class and consultation rooms where Reverend Zenner conducts his work are located at 460 Northwestern Avenue in Los Angeles. Of course, that's no longer there, as I say. It's a different, it's some other kind of church or something. Who is Reverend Richard Zenner and what does he do? Reverend Richard Zenner is one of those very rare individuals, a full trance medium. It is his power easily and quickly to slip into a trance at any time he wishes and to allow those who live in the spirit world to take over his body and use his vocal cords. Reverend Zenner does not consider that the subject of spiritualism is a controversial one, or that there is any doubt that mediums as such really exist, since he himself has been a practicing medium for some more than 50 years, and during that time has served as a telephone between worlds over which literally thousands have spoken to those in the spirit world in more than 20 different languages. I mentioned that before. He first learned, how did he develop this power? He first learned that he was possessed of unusual psychic talents before the age of 3, when he had his first psychic experience. It came to him naturally, and in fact, he has never known anything else. It is a natural and inherent power within him, and if he had not been born with it, he could not have developed it. How does he use his powers of spirit communication? Reverend Zenner has always been generous and unselfish in giving his time to those who wanted to use his ability to communicate with spirit. The first part of his life was spent in a series of private consultations with those who wished to talk to their loved ones, and in practicing the various phases of mediumship. After this, there was a series of public appearance tours and sessions with those who wished to conduct experiments in psychic research. These ended, however, with the first appearance of Agasha and his first lectures to the audiences who came to hear him. Who is Agasha? Agasha is a master teacher who has been lecturing regularly through Reverend Zenner's mediumship for over a quarter century. His lectures are simple, yet they are profound. They are tremendously broad in scope and range, and they contain discussions of many of the problems that have vexed humanity since the world began. How does he teach? At present, he lectures weekly to classes of those who assemble to hear him. The classes begin at 8:30 on Monday. He speaks through a medium, Reverend Zenner, while he is in trance. Agasha takes full possession of Reverend Zenner's body and vocal cords and speaks as though they were his own. His voice is amplified by an excellent public address system, and everyone in the audience can hear his words as well as those of the other entities from the spirit world who appear with him and assist him. What others speak regularly at the classes? Besides Agasha, who always is the center of interest and principal speaker, there are two others who regularly are heard. Dr. Navajo. This, of course, is not his real name. When on Earth, he was a full-blooded Navajo Indian. When he first appeared preceding Agasha many years ago, he could say only a few words of English, and his voice was halting and guttural. Now he speaks in a very polished manner, and his knowledge of metaphysics is very profound. He acts as doorkeeper and master of ceremonies. Margie. Margie, when she first spoke through Reverend Zenner many years ago, spoke in a lisping, breathless voice of a little girl. I played part of that the other day. Since then, she has gradually matured over the years until she now speaks with all the poise and culture and intelligence of a beautiful young lady, which indeed she is said to be. She speaks of common everyday things and likes to answer questions put to her by the audience. But this does not prevent her very extensive knowledge of things philosophical and things pertaining to the occult from being displayed frequently. Are there any other public appearances besides the classes? Every Sunday evening beginning at 8, again this is in the past, Richard Zenner offers his talents in an open exhibition of the psychic and spiritualistic powers possessed by those who operate through his mediumship. These meetings are an excellent opportunity for the investigator and the sincere seeker after truth to be introduced to those phenomena which perhaps he has never witnessed before. Besides an excellent introduction to and discussion of some of the truths taught in the Agashan classes and delivered by an entity known as Dr. Adams, formerly of Chicago, there are in addition a demonstration of spirit healing, a demonstration of mind reading, and an opportunity for many in the audience to talk with those in the spirit world who are present and desire to speak with them. These meetings are a rare privilege and a unique experience, and therefore should be attended if an opportunity presents. Well, I was very fortunate in being able to attend a few years of those classes. Ironically, I lived very close to them for several years and didn't even know it existed. It wasn't until after I moved away from that area, actually to Santa Monica, that I found out about the classes. In what respect do the teachings of Agasha differ from those of other philosophers, religious teachers, and metaphysical lecturers? As Agasha is fond of saying, truth is truth no matter where you find it. Also, there are many sources from which the truth may be learned, and that no one, that's no one, no organization, no religious group has a monopoly therein. His fields of instruction are so broad and his precepts so many that it is difficult to make any effort to summarize them. However, in a few brief aspects they can be summarized. Now, it starts with sin and punishment, karma and so forth, purpose of life. And I don't think I'll have time. I'm going to turn the camera and check the time up just about. 9:11. Yeah, it's only less than a minute left and there's not time. So I'm going to make another segment after this. And I'll read those explanations, starting with sin and punishment. Okay, I'll turn it off and come back. For those who are following this series, remember I'm not a professional by any means, a speaker or lecturer. I've never lectured in my life, never spoken in my life publicly, and so if I seem very a little awkward at this, please bear with me. Okay, be right back.